New at 4, a community coalition in Hartford wants city and state departments to respond to a list of demands after 2 police shootings. Hartford officers shot and killed 53-year-old Everard Walker and 55-year-old Stephen Jones last month. Each are reportedly in the middle of a mental health crisis when the shootings happened. Your reporter Owen Kingsley is live in Hartford now with more on the community's demands. Owen?
Well, Karen, in recent days, the North Hartford Public Safety Coalition, they say they went door to door. They surveyed more than 100 people, and today they made 5 demands that they believe reflect what the community wants. Now, the coalition, made up of religious leaders, neighbors, business owners, they demanded that the officers who discharged their firearms in each of the recent fatal shootings be terminated. Both shootings, as per protocol, are being investigated by the Office of the Inspector General, neither of which have been ruled on. The coalition also demanded that the Inspector General expedite their investigations and release their findings within 6 months. An even tighter deadline than that, the coalition demanding that Police Chief James Rovella here in Hartford holds a public community briefing within the next 7 days to share what they can about what the department's response has been to these shootings. The last 2 demands are that the coalition demands that the city permanently funds its mental health crisis response systems and ensure that the Police Accountability Review Board is fully activated.
In the pain our community has felt over the last 2 weeks, it's telling us clearly that our city is in need of care, accountability, and repair.
Look, we hear the pain and hurt that so many community members have felt in the last few weeks. It's something that we feel as well at City Hall, and I have promised this community that there will be real accountability and real transparency in this process.
We'll hear more from both sides coming up in the next hour. Right now, we just got a response from the Office of the Inspector General, who says, in part, the investigation will be completed as expeditiously as possible, consistent with the careful and methodical approach required for this work. Your reporter, live in Hartford, I'm Owen Kingsley, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.